Hold on. Needed to clear my throat. Hey everybody, welcome in. It is the Rant with me, Pugs Moran, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E Gallery in Dallas's Design District. As I said, I am Pugs Moran. I do this every day, Monday through Friday, round about this time. It's 2:00 now. Let's just get used to the idea that what was a noon show for a lot of years got promoted to a better time slot. We're now sort of drive time. Nah, we don't do that. I don't know what it means. Anyway, it's just easier for me to conduct my day doing this show at 2:00. Hi, everybody in the chat room. Let's say hi. Welcome, chat roomers. We've got Jeff Ballard. He's here. We've got Toronto. We've got Mikey D. Mikey D says they arrested the chick on the jet ski that killed the other girl at Lake Grapevine. Did they? Because, I've been seeing that on social media reported that they've got somebody in custody. Old sloppy tits, I like to call her. There's a picture of her circulating. For those of you who don't know, we had an incident here in North Texas on Saturday, a jet skiing incident. I was jet skiing on Saturday in North Texas. Different lake. This was on Grapevine. I am a Lake Louisville snob. This incident occurred on Lake Grapevine, and a young woman, 18 years old, was canoeing, and she got hit by two drunks. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Two drunks on a jet ski, and the drunks on the jet ski didn't stop, or at least didn't render aid. They went to the shore. It was two chicks on this jet ski. And one of the chicks, who was the passenger, she stayed behind and she answered some questions. But the chick, Sloppy Tits is what I call her, Sloppy Tits, who was driving the jet ski, she just got in a car at the shore and took off. Get this, the car on its way out, hit another car in the parking lot and just kept going. So we got questions. Now, old Sloppy Tits, she's been in the wind since Saturday. And there's reports on social media that they've arrested somebody. I hope that's true. I've not seen it confirmed, but then again, I haven't looked in the last 40 minutes. So as of an hour ago, none of the local news stations here in Dallas were reporting that they had someone in custody, but yet their Twitter was saying it's about illegal immigration and they've got a Mexican in custody, which they might. I don't know. I got to look into that. All right, we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that even more today. That's one of the stories we'll talk about here today on The Rant. We talk about hot topics, current events. We don't do politics. We don't get into who you voted for. I don't care. This is talk radio for normal people. Normal people like me. I can tell you about my weekend. As I said, it was boat day. It's the official kickoff of the week of the summer months, I guess, here in town. So I had a hell day at the lake Saturday. You know what? Let's not focus on the hellish situation that I was forced to navigate. Let's focus on the fact that the hellish situation got navigated and everything seems to be fine. What is the situation I'm telling you about? So Saturday afternoon, me, old dumb fuck, here's my phone. I let the phone drop out of my bag and it fell into a puddle that had sort of gathered at the bottom of the boat. Yeah, my phone got completely soaking wet on Saturday. And for about 24 hours, I didn't have a phone. It was, but now here's the thing. So you hear the story about, you got to just submerge it in rice or potato flakes. I've heard these things. I don't know. I don't know if that works. I don't know. It does work because it's the second time it's happened to me. You just take your phone when it gets wet. You go find a car somewhere in a hot parking lot, preferably a car with a black dashboard or something, and just take your soaking wet phone and stick it right on the dashboard of your car and leave it alone for 6 hours. It'll dry out naturally and it'll just start working. So all day Saturday and for the better part of Sunday, here's how my phone would work. It would ring. It would ring, but it was like a muffled ring. It was like there was something wrong with the speaker, probably water in it. So it would ring, but there was no way for me to answer it. And I would get text messages and notifications on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And I could sort of hit it, but I couldn't respond to anything? Do you know what a phone costs? Phones cost like $300. I was on the verge of tears. God saved me. That's right. Let's call it God. God saved me. God's beautiful sunlight right there on the dashboard of a black Chevy Malibu. It got that thing cooked up nice. So we're good. Hugh says that the old sloppy tits, the girl, the drunken jet skier. I'm telling you, we're going to talk about this story. We're going to talk about it because as a jet skier, as a father of a jet skier, I see this all the time, and I'm telling you, man, jet ski safety is a priority. You got to be a lake cop. If you're a dude, if you're a grunt, I think that being a middle-aged white man on a jet ski means that it is incumbent on me when I see 18, 19-year-olds being foolish on the jet ski to say, hey, now, you kids. That's what we do out there. We're the Lake Louisville Fun Police. Hugh says she was arrested about an hour ago. Okay, when we get to that story, we'll get into it. We got a lot of stuff to get to today. I've got a busy day. My voice, I don't know, seems okay. It's a little bit. I haven't I haven't spoken at length in a number of days. I've been resting my voice and just kind of hanging out. Didn't do any like crazy over the top partying or anything because, again, I was jet skiing. I'm a responsible man out there on that water weapon because that's what it is. It's you're riding a goddamn water missile, which I guess would be called a torpedo. You're riding a torpedo. You got to be aware of that situation. All right. What else do we have over the weekend? What did I do over the weekend? Did I watch anything good? Did I discover anything? Yeah. You know what I started to watch again? You know what I've rediscovered? And I'm episode 2 of season 2. Larry Sanders Show. That's right. The Great Larry Sanders Show is there on HBO Max. I stumbled across it, started watching it. I'm hooked, line and sinker. Hey now. That show's so funny. You know, it's crazy when you think about Gary Shandling, what that guy did in TV. That guy did 2 of the most groundbreaking and innovative TV shows that influenced like hundreds of other TV shows that came after it. I mean, between the Larry Sanders Show on Showtime, which people forget because of how great Larry Sanders was. People forget how great the Gary Shandling Show was. I mean, he introduced the concept of like the confessional. You know where we see that in every show now, where like a host speaks directly to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. That was like the whole point. And it was before reality TV, so it's not like they were doing reality TV confessionals. In fact, I would say that reality TV and breaking the fourth wall with the introduction of the confessional, segment in reality TV shows, they probably took that from its Gary Shandling Show. Anyway, so I'm watching Larry Sanders. There you go. Small talk complete. How you feeling? Feel good about the small talk? Should we get into what the show is? Show's about hot topics, current events, everything that's happening today. I run through 4 segments. I perform it as a stream of consciousness. It's just me talking. The 4 segments are antecedently on this day. That's the first one. It's this day in history. We just look at things, throughout this day in history. Quarter 2, we jump into birthdays. Celebrities who are having birthdays today. We either take the piss out of them or we say, happy birthday, you're pretty cool. We really do decide in the moment. Quarter 3 is deads. Another thing we decide in the moment. These are celebrities, historical figures, notable quotables who died on this day. In the moment, we decide based on our understanding of how they lived their lives. Where did they go when they died? Did they go to heaven or did they go to hell? That's quarter 3. Quarter 4 is everything else. Hot topics, current events. We got Louisiana prisoners breaking out. We got to do an accounting there. We've been gone for 4 days. We've been following the Louisiana prisoners. How many are still in the wind? We'll get to that. Diddy trial. I do a nightly show, Diddy or Didn't He, here on RadioMisfits.com. It's been a nice break. Took a 4-day break from the trial. The trial went on Memorial Day break, but we're back. And let me tell you something. Bombshells today. Bombshells. We'll cover that tonight on Diddy or Didn't He on Radio Misfits. I'll also touch on Capricorn Clark, Diddy's former assistant, who testified the better part of today. Talk about some of the bombshells that she dropped and was today the best day for the prosecution? Maybe. We'll see. Talk about that. Kevin Spacey's having a moment. He's got another big announcement that he just made. What else do we have? A whole bunch of stuff. If it's trending, if people are talking about it, if it's a hot topic, we'll cover it today. Later tonight, looking for something to do? Stars game. Yeah, we got a Stars game tonight, 7 o'clock. Come on. Come watch the Stars game with me. Yeah, Stars game. It coincides with trivia. We do trivia. Every night we do trivia here in Dallas, in North Texas, in the Addison area, to be more exact. It's called Trash Trivia, and we do it at the Back Nine every Tuesday night. And right now, the schedule is freaking awesome. So here's what we're going to do, right? This is how tonight's going to play out. It's going to play out the way it did 2 weeks ago when our trivia night at the Back Nine also coincided with a very big Stars game. So tonight we got the Stars. Stars game starts what time exactly? Stars game starts at 7 tonight, okay? Trivia starts at 7:30. Stars game starts at 7. Edmonton Oilers, they're in Edmonton. Edmonton is leading the series 2-1. Got to win. It's a must win. We got to win this one, okay? We got to tie it up and bring it back to Dallas. And don't worry about it. We will, because as I've said, the Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Don't you worry. I know you people, you're very concerned about this. So 7 o'clock, the match. Let's call it a hockey match. At 7 o'clock, the game starts. Puck drops, if you will. So what we're going to do is we're going to do trivia between periods. So around about 7:30, that'll be probably around the time that the first period and the second period takes. We'll do round 1 there, and then we'll watch the second period. We'll hang out. We'll have some fun, and then we'll do another round. It'll be great. We'll watch the Stars game, and we'll play trivia during those boring intermissions. We're going to have all kinds of cool-ass prizes to get you high. Yeah, we do. We give away legal hemp. Legal hemp with THC and all that stuff, and they're very popular. The big bags of totally legal gummies and totally legal cookies and all that stuff. Very popular. Big, giant bag. I mean, seriously, we're talking about, I think it costs like $100 if you bought it at the store. We give bags away. First place, second place. We also have gift cards. You can get your bill tape paid for. Come on out to the Back Nine. Win yourself some Back Nine gift cards. It's a good time. Every Tuesday night we do this. And tonight we've got it with a Stars game. So come on, come all. Trash trivia tonight at the Back Nine in Addison, 4060 Beltline Road. That's the Back Nine, 4060 Beltline Road. How about tonight's categories? Oh, I spend all week crafting the most incredibly interesting categories for our trivia game. I don't just pull them out of a Trivial Pursuit box or Google search. Give me 40 trivia questions. Okay, I might do that in order to get started, but it's all I create them all on my own, with help from, trivia starters. But I do like to put my own spin on it. So tonight's categories, here we go. Tonight's categories. It's a wild, wild world. Geography questions. What do you know about geography? They're not that hard. They're fun. Category 1, geography. Category 2, who wrote it? That's right, who wrote it? We're going to pay some tribute to some writers, some authors, people who wrote things, who wrote the book, who wrote the play, who wrote the song. Who wrote it? Category 2. Category 3, a little something for the gear queers out there, just simply called cars. Is it about the animated feature, or is it about just, cars in general? You'll have to come by tonight. Next category, we got thinkers. Thinkers is category 4 in round 1. Thinkers. What are thinkers? Well, it's a category that I fall on every couple of weeks. These are questions. See, now with trivia, most questions when it comes to trivia, you either know or you don't. You know it by happenstance. Oh, I actually know that question. That's the fun of trivia. You never know what you know and what you don't know. You just live your life and things stick and things don't stick. That's trivia. But I like to include a category every couple of weeks or so called thinkers. These are ones that don't just rely on trivia. You just got to think about this. If you think about these questions, thinkers, you should get them. Thinkers. All right, round 2. Round 2, we'll do sports. I like to throw in a little sports category every couple of weeks. We're going to do some sports questions. Sports trivia starts off round 2 tonight. Then we're doing nicknames. Nicknames of places, nicknames of things, nicknames of people. I'll either give you the nickname, you tell me the person, the place, or the thing, or vice versa. Nicknames, another category in round 2. Category 3 in round 2, Nepo babies. That's right, Nepo babies. They're all the rage in Hollywood. You either got to be super talented and super lucky or the child of Meg Ryan. Nepo babies. All questions tonight will be in the category of Nepo babies, will concern people who are famous and their parents were too. Nepo babies. Okay, and the final category for tonight, guitar heroes. I'll ask you questions about a myriad of guitar heroes. You tell me the band, you tell me the name, you tell me the guitar hero. Those are your categories. Once again, geography. Who wrote it? Cars, thinkers, sports, nicknames, Nepo babies, and guitar heroes. Those are our categories tonight. In between stars periods. The back nine, 4060 Beltline Road. Come on, come on. Get free drugs. Get free legal drugs. That's what we'll call it. All right. I'm watching at the corner of my eye. I'm watching an update on the New Orleans jailbreak. Did they break out of New Orleans? Yeah, I guess they did. All right. What do you say we get started? Here we go. Let's do this. It is The Rant. I am Pugs Moran. Welcome into the show. We do this every Monday through Friday, round about this time. All the things that you need to know about today. All the things you need to know about today. Let's just leave it at that. All right, let's get started. Here we go. It's The Rant for the 27th day of May, year of our Lord 2025. The Rant is the 147th day of the year. There's 218 remaining until the end of the year. So get those New Year's Eve plans started. All right. Let's do quarter one. Antecedently on this day, this is where we talk about some of the events that help begin this day or help begin this day. What am I saying? Sorry, I'm a little hot. It's a little hot in here. It's going to be hot in here all summer. Better get used to it. All right. Antecedently on this day in the year 1798. Oh, the Pitt-Tierney duel. We're going to talk about the Pitt-Tierney duel. Duel is a duel. They used to do back in 1798. We had no therapy. So men had really difficult times sort of managing their egos. And, duels were things that they couldn't say no to. So did you know this? We always think about duels being so permanent and being so scary. Did you know that there's a gentleman's rule in duels? Yeah, it's all for show. It's all performative. You're not supposed to actually shoot the person. And it's understood in certain circles that that's how it's done. Now, here was a great example of a duel. There was a very high-profile duel that utilized the rules of gentleman dueling. Here it was. I'll tell you about it. It was the Pitt-Tierney duel. It took place at Putney Heath. That's right, outside London. This was a bloodless duel, as most duels of the time were. They had duels all the time. They were bloodless duels because that's how a gentleman would conduct a duel. As I said, it's all very performative. So it was a bloodless duel between the Prime Minister of Great Britain, William Pitt the Younger. William Pitt the Elder, incidentally, is who Pittsburgh is named for. So it was a duel between the Prime Minister of England and his political opponent, George Tierney. All right. So let me tell you how this went down. The two politicians met by arrangement. Then in Surrey, several miles outside of London. They met by arrangement in Surrey, several miles outside London. Armed with pistols, both men took aim at 12 paces and missed. When it came to take a second shot, Pitt deliberately aimed his gun in the air. The Times reported. The seconds, the people who load the guns and stuff. The seconds then jointly interfered and insisted the matter should go no further. It being their decided opinion that the sufficient satisfaction had been given and that the business was ended with perfect honor to both parties. See that bullshit? That's what they used to do. Because you can't back down from a duel. And nobody wants to be in a duel. And I know it plays well 200 years later for us to think that these were all badasses who were actually just shooting at each other. But they weren't. Most of them went down this way, a bloodless duel. That is where they would do their 10 paces, they would turn, and they would both intentionally miss. And then upon the second firing, they would both fire into the air. That is the signal for their seconds to be like, oh, that's enough, gentlemen, that's enough. Honor has been restored. And everybody goes home. Telling you, it would be like another 100 years before Freud started doing therapeutic work on this subject. Ego. So stupid. On this day in 1798, a famous bloodless duel occurred. On this day in 1813, War of 1812, In Canada, American forces capture Fort George. It's not something we care about. We don't care about it. This war. Could you imagine being like, an American and your kid dies in the War of 1812? Nobody cares. It's like, yeah, that's the war we skip over. We're not even taught about the War of Canada. What do you mean? We were fighting in Canada? What? Antecedently, on this day in the year 1937 in California, the Golden Gate Bridge opens to pedestrian traffic, creating a vital link between San Francisco and Marin County. Now, a couple of things. I think this is only fair because you know me. I'm like I always call out the frauds, things that I think are bullshit, that everybody's like, that's great. Good example of a structural fraud that I always call out, the Eiffel Tower. I never seen it, but it's kind of bullshit, okay? It's just like an electric power tower. That's all. We've got these in our backyards. I grew up and for miles, the backyards of all the homes that I grew up in my neighborhood, they were all like little Eiffel Towers. And I'm like, that's not impressive. Okay. Graceland, another example. Graceland, not impressive. Now, I know you're like, but Pugs, you've been banned for life from Graceland, so you're obviously biased. Doesn't matter. I wasn't impressed before I was banned for life. Graceland kind of sucks. That house is shit. Fucking hillbilly house. It's a dumb house. It's not even nice. The land it's on is nice, but the house itself is like, okay, here's another one. The Alamo. Very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Okay. All right. So I've established that there are things out there that people are like, oh, they're incredible. All right. So let me tell you a couple of things that actually are incredible. The Grand Canyon. You stand there on the edge of the Grand Canyon and you look off on that great expanse and you're like, what the fuck? Why did God build an ashtray right here? Because that's what I thought. I'm like, this is God's ashtray. God's just like flicking his butts in here. But it is impressive. It is an impressive thing to see. Another thing that's impressive to see, and then this may be personal, maybe, something, but there is something about the very first time you get off a plane in Los Angeles, Southern California, and you're driving in Southern California on a highway, and it's the very first time that the Hollywood sign comes into view. That's impressive. That gives you chills. You're like, oh my God, that's so cool. That is cool. That is cool. I'll tell you another thing that is definitely cool. The Golden Gate Bridge. On this day, Pugs, what are you doing? Bring it back home. You're rambling. I know. On this day in 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco is open. The first time I saw Golden Gate Bridge, it was like half covered in clouds, and I was from a distance, and I just thought, that is breathtaking. That is a breathtaking structure. In the bay, and just everything about it is so beautiful. Breathtaking. There you go. On this day, 1937. The Brooklyn Bridge is kind of cool, but I don't remember being necessarily moved by it the way I was by the Golden Gate. On this day in 1997, antecedently, the 1997 Central Texas tornado outbreak. I don't remember this. I wasn't here, but apparently this was pretty bad. An F5 Texas ripped through Central Texas, or an F5 tornado ripped through Central Texas, killed 27. Gerald, Texas looks to be the central point of this. 1997, the Central Texas tornado outbreak. All right, that's going to do it. Antecedently, Q1 is in the books. Now we move to birthdays. These are people celebrating birthdays on this day. We decide whether or not it's happy birthday, or are we going to come up with excuses to not show up to their party? Here we go. Born on this day in 1837, American Western legend Wild Bill Hickok. You guys ever watch Deadwood? Deadwood. He's one of the stars of the show Deadwood. David Milch, probably the second best thing HBO has ever done. Yeah, I know. I'm a guy who was just talking about how I'm back into Larry Sanders, and I put Deadwood above Larry Sanders. I do. Deadwood was so good. If you guys never saw Deadwood on HBO, if you got HBO Max, geez Louise, man, you got 2 seasons and a movie. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. It's so good. And I don't even like Westerns. I'm not a Western guy. I hate Westerns. Western, you lose me. You tell me it's a bunch of dudes on horseback, you lose me. Very few exceptions. Deadwood. Deadwood is incredible. Happy birthday, Wild Bill Hickok. Bugs, what's the number one thing in HBO history? Well, that's easy. It's The Sopranos. Shut up, stupid. It might be Sopranos, Deadwood, Succession, Larry Sanders, Curb. Boom, there you go. Look at me. Just off the top of my head, 5 best things HBO ever did. Yeah, that's I'll fight. I'll fight you on that. Absolutely. Sopranos, Deadwood, Succession, Larry Sanders, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Boom. That's it. Those are the 5 best things HBO has ever done. And that doesn't mean that, there isn't other like amazing things that would make my, top 10, top 15. I'll just stop it. Why do you hate The Wire? What do you mean hate The Wire? I fucking love The Wire, but it's not in your top 5. Yeah, it's not, because there's only 5 slots. So why do you hate The Wire? I don't hate The Wire. I love The Wire. As a matter of fact, I might start a rebinge of The Wire later this summer. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. All right. Wild Bill Hickok, born on this day in 1837. He seemed kind of cool. At least from Deadwood, he seemed cool. Born on this day in 1911. Not gay. This guy isn't gay. I swear to God, he's not gay. There's other than everything about him suggesting that he's gay, there's nothing else that suggests that he's gay. Apparently, he's a bit of like he was married a bunch of times to a bunch of different chicks. He would continually get younger and hotter at the position, the way a real heterosexual man would. It's incredible. I swear to God, I thought he was gay. Born on this day in 1911, Vincent Price. Yeah. All right, here, let's watch a little bit of Vincent Price here. Let's say, tell me this guy, you don't think this guy's gay? He seems gay to me. And it doesn't matter. Here you go. Let's watch this.
Of conversation. Beyond his fine dramatic performances and roles in horror films, his wide range of interests in the finer things in life make him something of a Renaissance man and a delightful guest. I wonder if he wrestles naked girls on set. Well, we'll ask him. Vincent Price.
I can't stop smiling. I'm sorry. He's just one of these dudes from my childhood that makes me smile. Vincent Price. Oh, my God.
Obviously, you don't play golf.
No, and I don't wrestle either. No.
Have you ever been tempted to
wrestle?
A naked lady?
Well, I do it at home. It's much better there.
And does Coral know about
Coral
that?
loves it. She greases herself up.
Does she? Probably a very fine herbal.
See, the irony here is that, I don't know. He strikes me as gay. He sounds like he's not. Like, what is that? Does he have an accent? Is he from America? What is Vincent Price? Yeah, he is. He's from America. But what doesn't it seem like maybe he's got a bit of a British accent or something? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. The irony here is that the guy who doesn't seem gay is super gay, and the guy that seems super gay isn't gay at all. Yeah, Merv Griffin is gay, but my gaydar doesn't go off with Merv Griffin. My gaydar goes nuts with Vincent Price.
Oh, no, absolutely nothing but Chanel Foomph.
Oh, really? Yeah. Good.
No, she's wonderful at it.
You've been really traveling around this summer.
I sure have. I really have. I've had a lovely time playing all over the country.
And seeing America.
Yeah, America, I know.
And a lot.
All right, there you go. Anyway, Vincent Price, he was super cool. Turns out he's not gay. I spent my whole life thinking he was gay. He's not. Merv Griffin is. Merv Griffin. I didn't know Merv Griffin was gay, but Merv Griffin is definitely gay. All right, let's keep going. Born on this day in 1911, Vincent Price. And now we'll continue our tribute to Vincent Price, because also born on this day in 1922. How cool is this? His best friend. Vincent Price's best friend, also born on this day in 1911. If you had to list the greatest icons of horror film, right, you would put Vincent Price right there. But right next to Vincent Price, you might put this birthday boy born on this day in 1922, Christopher Lee. How weird is that? Like Vincent Price and Christopher Lee, they were the Coke and Pepsi of scary movies in the 1950s and 1960s. They were born on the same day and they're best friends. Here, check this out. This is another little video clip that we'll watch here. This is from, what is it? This Is Your Life, which used to be a show. So This Is Your Life is a show where they'd bring out a celebrity and they'd be like, hey, remember in 8th grade when you dated this girl? And then they'd bring her out. And anyway, here's This Is Your Life, Christopher Lee. Check this out.
Vincent Price, of course. And when we told him out at his home in California we were paying this tribute to you, he said he was falling over backwards to be here. And he is. 8,000 miles from Hollywood to prove you two have a friendship will to survive anything. Vincent Price himself. Now, as two of the all-time greats of horror movies, you have something else in common, haven't you?
Yes, we do, Eamon. You know, it's a very peculiar thing. I don't know whether it's supernatural or just perhaps ecological, but we share the same birthday, May 27th. A few years apart, of course.
All right, there you go. Look at that. And they're friends. That's nice. They're both dead now. All right, let's go. Christopher Lee, born on this day in 1922. Born on this day in 1923, German-American political scientist, politician, 56th United States Secretary of State, Nobel Prize laureate, and noted war criminal, Henry Kissinger, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. He is not a good man. Guess where he went when he died? Oh, we'll get there. Born on this day in 1957. How about Susie Sue? Susie Sue, Susie and the Banshees. Let's see what we can do here. We listen to some Susie Sue. Let's see. Susie Sue of Susie and the Banshees. Born on this day in Mr. Popular. Hold on. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. How do we? She spells her name weird, right? Yeah, she spells it like. There you go. Okay. Really? There you go. All right. I think this is like the only. This is like the only Susie and the Banshee song that I know of, but it's her birthday, so here you go. It's got a long intro. All right, there you go. Sounds like Weird Al Yankovic to me. Susie Sue. Susie. Susie Sue. Spelled like the Sioux Indian tribe. That's why I'm having difficulty with it. Susie Sue. All right. Let's see here. Here's somebody else we're going to listen to. Boom, boom, boom. Born on this day in 1958, New Zealand singer, songwriter, and musician, and truly one of the great underrated songwriters of all time. This guy is brilliant. He's one of my favorites. You know how I love the lyrics. Well, this guy. Neil Finn. Who's Neil Finn? Crowded House, Split Ends, solo career.
There is freedom within.
Come on.
There is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. There's a
Split Ends? Huh? Neil Finn?
I got you. That's all I want.
Neil Finn, born on this day, 1958. Happy birthday, Neil Finn. Born on this day in 1965, Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges, dead or alive? What do you think? I know you probably think dead, right? I think dead. You'd be wrong. Todd Bridges. Good for you, kid. Still alive. Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges was Willis from Todd Bridges, of course. Sorry. Todd Bridges was Willis from Different Strokes. After Different Strokes, Todd Bridges did all kinds of crazy stuff that got him in the headlines. I think, did he even stabbed his roommate? Did he go to jail? I don't know. Todd Bridges. I would assume that he would no longer be with us, but apparently he has outlived them all. Todd Bridges, probably the last, right? The last of the Different Strokes people. Because Mrs. Garrett is definitely gone. Mr. Drummond is gone. Dana Plato is gone. Gary Coleman is gone. Wow. 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 What's that? My Owen Wilson? I'm working on an Owen Wilson. Wow. Okay, there you go. Anyway, Todd Bridges, still alive, born on this day in 1965. Born on this day in 1968, the sweetest swinger I ever saw. My favorite baseball hitter of all time, the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. Born on this day in 1968. Frank Thomas had a when we came up and he signed his big deal and became a big super rich guy, he bought an office or rented an office in the John Hancock building. And the radio station I worked at was in the John Hancock building, and the office that he was in was just a floor below us. And I used to run into a young Frank Thomas all the time in the convenience store there in the Hancock Center, and we had a bit of an issue with each other. Yeah, sure I was a fan, but he didn't know that. Here's what I knew about him and what he knew about me. We knew that we were the other people in the building who chewed Kodiak chewing tobacco. That's what we knew about each other. We also knew that this convenience store, albeit convenient for us there in the 100-plus story John Hancock Center building, was convenient. There was only X amount of Kodiak chew for the entire month. So before Frank Thomas started working there, I used to be able to go down whenever I wanted, and there was always a can. But then suddenly Frank Thomas and his boys show up, and now there's never any Kodiak in there? The fuck? So I did some investigation. I turned it into an on-air bit. And I believe that Frank Thomas was taken. And then I got one of his boys on the air. He sent his guys down, sends his guys down. And I saw the dude. I waited down there, and the dude bought a can of Kodiak. And then I recorded him. I confronted him. I said, "What are you doing, man? We need to come up with a system here." And he didn't admit it was for Frank, but I did. I was like, "Is this for Frank? Frank can't be a big boy and come down here?" Oh, radio in the 90s. We had fun. Frank Thomas, born on this day in 1968. Like a million-time All-Star, two-time MVP, first ballot Hall of Famer, the absolute best hitter I've ever seen. Now, I know you probably, there's a lot of great. Nah, you know what? No. You look at this guy, you look at Frank Thomas, and you think, oh, he just hits 450-foot home runs all the time and strikes out 800 times a season, right? That's what you think when you see that? No. Frank didn't strike out. Frank had the best eye. You either had to throw him absolute meat over the plate that he was going to crush 500 feet, or he was taking his walk. He had no problems letting you just try and be fucking clever with your pitches. His eye was unbelievable. Led the league in walks every year for a guy that was also hitting 40 home runs a year. He was great. The Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. And not an asshole either, like not a shit talker, not just a professional, just a quiet, classy professional. Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. Born on this day in 1968. Born on this day in 1971, Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Aw, she's dead. She's confounding Lisa Left Eye Lopez because she's dead. And when you think about Lisa Left Eye Lopez, you're like, yeah, that tracks. Because she was kind of wild. She was like young and wild. And remember, she burned down her boyfriend, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Andre Rison's mansion by putting all of his shoes in the sunken tub and then pouring gasoline on his shoes and starting a massive. I mean, she was kind of nuts. She was kind of a nutty kind of chick. She was the bad girl, right? TLC, right? Left Eye. But that's not how she died. Like, she didn't die in a bad girl way. She died like she was doing a humanitarian mission, right? To like Central America or something, or some island, Haiti or something, and she got into a car accident and died. It's just, that's a shame. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, born on this day in 1971, dead in 2002. Born on this day in 1973, the great Jack McBrayer. Oh, I love Jack McBrayer. Jack McBrayer was somebody I saw for the first time before he was even, Jack McBrayer was Kenny on 30 Rock. I don't know if you remember Kenny. He always plays like sort of a Southern rube, but he's like really sweet and really nice and incredibly funny. And one of the best improv actors in history. People will just tell you about Jack McBrayer. Jack McBrayer was a guy who I used to see at the Second City before he was Jack McBrayer from 30 Rock or whatever. He was just this really, really funny guy that everybody knew. He's going to go somewhere, but he had such a narrow sort of brand about him. Almost like, excuse me, almost like Kramer You know, Kramer is like a one-off, right? Bobcat Goldthwait's kind of like a one-off. Well, that's sort of what Jack McBrayer was being pigeonholed with. And along comes Tina Fey. She finds the absolute best character for him, and the rest is history. Jack McBrayer, so funny. Anyway, the reason that he is so good at improv is because he gives his partners so much. That character that he plays gives somebody who's like chomping at the bit to chew you up. It just gives them so much to work with. Some great examples of Jack McBrayer being an incredible improv partner. Just go to YouTube and Google search Conan O'Brien, Jack McBrayer. Conan O'Brien knows how to use him, and it's just so beautiful. I love Jack McBrayer. Happy birthday, born on this day in 1973. 73, man. I thought he was much younger. He's going to be one of these old dudes who looks super young, because I did not think that he was that old. Born on this day in 1975, Andre 3000. Say what you will. Outkast. Outkast is great. Outkast is great. They're not violent. They're not putting, all they're doing is they're just partying and having fun. Outkast. Love Andre 3000. Born on this day in 1999. How about Lily Rose Depp? Lily Rose Depp. She's Johnny Depp's daughter. She looks like somebody. Who does she look like? She looks like somebody, not herself. Like she looks like another actress. There's a whole bunch of these actresses of a certain age, and they all look the same. I don't know. Anyway, happy birthday, Lily Rose Depp, born on this day in 1999. Let's do deads. Here we go. Quarter 3. These are people who died on this day. Let's decide whether they went to heaven or did they go to hell. Let's do the deads. All right. First one, dead on this day in 2006. Oh, heck no. Where'd this guy go? We're going to put this guy. We're probably going to put this guy in hell just simply because of the one role that we all know him from. Yeah. Here we go. How about this guy? How about assistant principal Dick Vernon from The Breakfast Club? Paul Gleason. Look at him. Paul Gleason. Paul Gleason died on this day. He's pretty young. Barry Manilow. No, you robbed his wardrobe. Look at him. He's going to hell, right? He was just an asshole. He played an asshole so well. All right, there we go. Dead on this day. What year? Dead on this day in 2006. Paul Gleason. 2011. All right, here we go. Here's one. Dead on this day in the year 2011. Jeff Conway. Jeff Conway. He played Kaniki in Grease. He also played Bobby. Right? Was it Bobby? Yeah, it was Bobby. Bobby in Taxi. Remember the actor, the out-of-work actor? He also played himself in Celebrity Rehab in the 2000s, which was a show that was on VH1 where we used to just watch people, try and get over their severe drug addiction in like a total performative type setting. Would help nobody except maybe Dr. Drew, but I digress. Yeah, he died, of course, because he showed up. Jeff Conway showed up on Celebrity Rehab like an absolute train wreck. And he made like Danny Bonaducci look like a Supreme Court justice. That's how Jeff Conway showed up. It was awful. Anyway, he died. He died young too. Kaniki died at like 60. That's too young for a good-looking young actor. I don't know. When he liked his drugs, cocaine and painkillers were apparently his drugs of choice. Jeff Conway, we got to put him in hell. It was not fun to watch. It was like somebody do something, and nobody did anything. All right, dead on this day in 2017, Greg Allman. Greg Allman of the Allman Brothers. All right, I'm putting him in hell. I like Greg Allman. I like the Allman Brothers. I think the Allman Brothers are really cool, but Greg Allman needs to go to hell. Greg Allman did some stuff. Do you know the story about Greg Allman and Savannah, the porn star? Do you people even know who Savannah, the porn star, is? Savannah was a porn star from Fort Worth. She went to high school with Big Dick Hunter, my friend. Savannah was a porn star, but before she was a porn star, she was just a hot dumb chick from Fort Worth who liked the Allman Brothers. And Greg Allman pulls into town and plays a show there in Fort Worth back in like 1980 something. And this little 16-year-old girl, this little 16-year-old Fort Worth high school girl, she meets him, and He's like 40 something because he's Greg Allman. He's been around forever. So he's like, he like hooks up with her. Did I mention she was 14? She's like this 14-year-old girl. And he takes her back to California because she's hot, because he's attracted to her, because I think he's probably a bit of a ped. So he takes her back to California. She's 12 years old. She's a 12-year-old girl living with Greg Allman there in California. And he decides that he's going to turn her out, not in the way that like a pimp would turn, somebody. He introduces her to all of these people in the world of porn, thinking that maybe I can get her a job in porn and she'll do that. And she did. And she changed her name to Savannah. And for a period of time, she became like the biggest and most famous porn star. Once, of course, she stopped being 5. She was 5 when Greg Allman took her from that Fort Worth concert place. She was 5. They had to wait till she was legal, but then he got her into porn. And of course, turns out that's not really something Savannah ever wanted to do, but she felt trapped and lost and all of that. And of course, she's dead now. She died at like 23. She died a porn star death. But let's not forget, Greg Allman picked her up when she was 6 months old and decided to start a sexual relationship with her. Greg Allman, you can go to hell. Oh, yeah, you're no angel. Dead on this day in 2024, putting him in heaven because he was like so awesome. Bill Walton. Big, dumb, like 10-foot tall, big goofy basketball player. Bill Walton was like one of the most transformative basketball players of the era when he was out there dominating at UCLA. With who's the guy? Bob, Bill, whatever. Anyway, he was a big deal. Woodward, Wizard of Westwood, whatever. Bill Walton was a hell of a basketball player. Unfortunately, because he was 48 feet tall, his knees gave out on him, and he didn't really have that great of a pro career. I mean, he had a pro career. Don't get me wrong. Everybody could still play. He was still like a top player, but still not as great as what he was supposed to have been because of his knees. And anyway, Bill Walton's awesome. And Bill Walton would go on to have a career in broadcasting, and Bill Walton would go on to have a career as a just incredibly ceaseless, relentless force for optimism in this world. Bill Walton was just Mr. Hey, let's look at the bright side. Bill Walton was amazing, and he's going to heaven. Big, dumb, 40-foot tall, horse-faced freak. He's just out here just bringing good vibes to everybody all the time for 50 years. Bill Walton, you go to heaven for that, my friend. You go to heaven. All right, guys. I'm having an issue with, and you could probably hear it, the mic cord today. Usually it doesn't make that level of noise, but today I'm having a bit of an issue with it. All right, one more time. Let me remind you, you know what today is? Today is, of course, Tuesday. You know what that means? It means it's trash trivia. Woo! Come join me tonight for trash trivia out there at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road. Trash trivia. And the Stars. Stars going to get a win tonight. I feel it. Trash trivia between periods tonight at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road. Come for the Stars game. Stick around for the trivia in between periods. And it'll still be, the way we got this timed, it'll still be over at the time it usually ends. It usually goes between 7:30 and 9:30. Trust me, we've got this timed out. We know what we're doing. Tonight at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road. Come one, come all. All right, let's get into all of the things that are happening today. The big news stories and whatnot. Let's see. We'll go through the stupid stuff just out of the top here. Harvard and Trump are fighting. This is, I don't know what they're fighting about. I don't care what they're fighting about. I find both institutions, Trump and Harvard, to be like, whatever. I don't need to hear it from them. Here's what I do know. I do know that Harvard is a brand name. And I do know that Trump likes to use brand names. He likes to demonize brand names. He likes to use them and leverage their power within the great unwashed. We are the great unwashed. Alcatraz was a great example of that. Remember he's talking about what to do with these immigrants. Where can he send them? And he said, we're going to reopen Alcatraz. Okay, so there's no possibility of that ever happening. But he understands that the average person knows Alcatraz, bad prison. That's good. Connect the dots. I like him. That's good. Like, they don't really think that it's not really going to happen. So he uses that. So now Trump's at war against Harvard. Does he really have anything to go to war with Harvard against? I don't know, maybe. But here's what he does know. This is why he's not at war with Arizona State. Harvard means something in the eyes of the average person that Arizona State or North Texas University or any of these other schools don't. Harvard is elitism. So now he's demonizing Harvard and he's going after Harvard. Whatever, I'm exhausted. I don't care. I do not care. Here's what I do know. We like to talk shit about Harvard, right? Harvard, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, man. If my kid gets into Harvard, I'm never going to stop talking about it. Why do we demonize, especially when it comes to our own kids? We should all be proud if our kid can, do the work that gets them into an Ivy League school. Not if you're rich. If you're a rich person sending your kid because you're going to buy him a library there, fuck you. But I mean, if you're like a normal person, you can get into one of those colleges. It's something to be proud of. I don't understand the demonization of book learning. I don't get it. With that said, spending time around people who went to Harvard is absolutely a beatdown, and I don't wish that on anybody because they are the worst. My friend's wife went to Harvard. Oh, God. And how do I know it? Because I've met her. And anybody that you meet that goes to Harvard, they're going to let you know that they went to Harvard pretty quickly. I don't want to be like, in the first 30 seconds because it ain't that obvious. But it is it's very early on in your experience with these people that you will learn that they went to Harvard. And I can't say that's not really the same for like Yale and Princeton or anything else. Harvard, definitely. You know what else? Notre Dame. Notre Dame is another one. People will let you know when they went to Notre Dame. Notre Dame and Harvard. What is it with these douchebags? All right, let's talk about a story we've been tracking here on the Rant for, better part of 2 weeks now. It is the escaped prisoners that broke out 2 weeks ago now from a prison there in New Orleans. 10 of them broke out. We all watched the video. Whoop, 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 whoop. See, what happened was they got some maintenance worker to turn off the water to a bathroom area. And once he turned off the water, they were able to pull the bathroom plumbing out of the wall. What that caused was a hole in the wall. Now, I didn't think that it was this poorly constructed, but I guess they've got bathrooms that prisoners can use that are just the only thing separating them in freedom is the wall. like, can't you have the prisoner bathrooms more centrally located inside the prison complex so that if they just go through one wall, they're still in the prison? What the hell kind of construction plan was that? Anyway, they all went through this wall. They all ran off. Whoop, 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 whoop. We saw the video. They were scrambling off the what looked like a loading dock there in the prison, running to freedom. 10 of them. Over the course of the last couple of weeks, some of them have been getting caught. Some of them are still out there. We've been keeping track. I have to say, I did predict Corey Boyd. Corey Boyd was one of the 10 who escaped. I predicted he would be captured fairly quickly because he looked like he's, special needs. You look at him, you look at somebody and you're like, oh, that person goes to a special school. So that's what Corey Boyd looked like to me. And so I thought he would be caught next. And sure enough, he was caught next. And then I picked Jermaine Donald. Jermaine Donald was of the original 10. We looked at a bunch of pictures of these guys and we'll see him in a second. But I pictured Jermaine Donald. Jermaine Donald looked like he had an attitude of he ain't going back to prison. I thought that he looked like his own man. The other guys all looked like they might be running in a crew. Like, let's all stick together. Whereas Jermaine Donald looked like, nope, I got a baby mama in South Carolina. I'm going to see. Like, I thought Jermaine Donald would get out. Well, I was wrong. Jermaine Donald has now been captured, as well as 2 others. Van Housen. We'll get to their names in a second. And anyway, I have to say, we have got a bona fide underdog who is crushing it in this year's Running Man competition. The dude with the tattoos all over his face, a dude who I predicted would be caught next, because you can't go in public with tattoos on your face. That's too obvious. The dude with the tattoos in his face is one of the final 2. That's incredible. Let's see here. Arrests mount for those helping the escaped convicts. Apparently, they've arrested 14 people now. 2 are still on the loose. It says here, let's get caught up. A massive manhunt that began for 10 escapees is now down to 2, while authorities turn their attention towards people aiding the inmates who literally broke out of a New Orleans jail 11 days ago. Louisiana State Police announced Monday that 3 more escapees had been nabbed in Louisiana and Texas and pledged to pursue every lead until the 2 who remain at large are once again in custody. Police also announced the arrests of 6 people accused of aiding the escapees. He quoted now, individuals who choose to assist, conceal, or harbor these fugitives are violating the law and will be arrested, regardless of the level of assistance given or where they are found, Louisiana State Police Sergeant Kate Stagel wrote in a social media post. Harboring fugitives threatens the safety of our communities and will not be tolerated. The latest inmates to be recaptured were Lenton Van Buren, 26, who was taken into custody in Baton Rouge by local police, and Leo Tate, 31, and Jermaine Donald, 42. They were arrested in Walker County, Texas. Look at that. I was wrong about my guy, Jermaine Donald. I thought Jermaine Donald would go it alone, and it turns out Jermaine Donald was out there running around with Leo Tate. They both got caught. All right, let's take a look at who we still got left in the wind. We have the latest breakdown of the prisoners. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, all right. Here we go. Let's take a look. All right. Okay, let's see. So here's my guy, Jermaine Donald. He's captured. I'm shocked. Antoine Massey, him with the he's got cornrow. I mean, this guy, you see this guy, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's the dude. He cannot blend in, Antoine Massey, and yet he's still out there. Antoine Massey and Derek Groves. I don't know if they're together, but these 2 guys, yeah, one of these two are going to be your 2025 running man champion. Really, look at this guy, Jermaine Donald. I thought, no way. Look at this scary dude. That is a scary dude. Jermaine Donald. It's all right. It's all right. You don't always pick the right horse. You know, sometimes, doesn't go the way you think. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Hold on, I got to get rid of some. They got way too many pictures open. Escaped prisoners. We did that. All right, let's talk about Grapevine Lake. As I said, very jet ski safety is very important to me. So over the weekend, Grapevine Lake. Never been on Grapevine Lake. Isn't that weird? It's weird that I've only ever been on Lake Louisville. Why do I only know people who have boats on Lake Louisville? I mean, Grapevine Lake is just as far as Lake. You know what I mean? It's not like well, Louisville's. It's not. They're both like in the area. Huh. All right. Anyway, so on Grapevine Lake on Saturday, some people were jet skiing, 2 girls, and they ran into a young woman, an 18-year-old girl. Guess she had just joined the United States Air Force. An 18-year-old girl was kayaking alone in the lake, as you see them out there, and the jet skis, and they're whatever. Apparently the jet ski ran into the kayak, and it killed. Oh God. I mean, just knowing the force of these jet skis and how fast people get going, and especially idiots, and especially if they're drunk, just thinking about that collision between a jet ski that is going, 50 maybe? I mean, I don't know how fast, I don't know how open water it was. I mean, I know that he's got a jet ski that can go over 80. It's probably the fastest jet ski on the lake out there. The boys get all angry. Anytime the boys, sometimes the teen boys have to use the super fast jet ski, and they have to use a special key, a limiter key that doesn't allow them to go all out on it. It'll get them to 60 or 70, but it won't let them go complete. Anyway, yeah, that's scary. That's scary. It seems so hard to actually hit somebody, even if you're just being like 50% responsible out there, if you're just being 50% responsible, I don't know how you hit somebody. But then again, I've been out there on weekends like Memorial Day or, 4th of July, where it is just absolute chaos. 4th of July, Memorial Day, especially if you're anywhere around where all the boats tie off, it's chaos. It's the police come through. You have the game wardens with their police boats. They come through, and time to time they'll arrest people for doing crazy things. But you see shit, man. You see super rich people with like super rich yachts, drunk, 19 years old on, launching their jet skis off the back of their yachts, doing like really crazy stunt shit, like around other people. They don't care. There is a lawlessness of people. The boating people, there is a lawlessness. That is what I will say. All right, so let's get into this story because I want to figure out exactly what happened here. This will take us from, this is from NBC5. I know there's any number of sources here covering this story. The crash happened late Sunday afternoon during a busy Memorial Day weekend. Ava Renee Moore, 18 years old. She died Sunday after she was hit by a personal watercraft while kayaking on Grapevine Lake. Investigators released a photo of the woman they say was operating the personal watercraft at the time of the collision. Now, there are reports, again, that I'm hearing that someone has been taken into custody. I will look into that in a second, but let's just establish what happened. Witnesses and investigators said that after the crash, the woman driving the jet ski left with a man who then hit another vehicle while leaving the parking lot. On Tuesday, the woman suspected of colliding. Okay, she was. Never mind. We got it. We got an update. Thank you, people. That was easy. Woman arrested in connection with fatal collision at Grapevine Lake. Officials did not say where Gonzalez was taken into custody or if a tip led to her arrest. More information is, all right, so here, let's look at her. Let's take a look at her. Oh, God, she's just a dumb kid. The woman suspected of fatally colliding with an 18-year-old kayaker on Grapevine Lake on Sunday is now in custody. On Tuesday, excuse me, on Tuesday, Grapevine Police and the Texas Game Wardens confirmed that they'd taken Dikerlin, D-A-I-K-E-R-Lin, Dikerlin Alejandra Gonzalez. What? What the hell kind of name is that? Is that an ethnic thing? Gonzalez? Because everything about it says like Mexico except for the first name. I don't know what that first name is. Dikerlin, that's anything with L-Y-N at the end of it. That's American redneck. That is Dikerlin Alejandro Gonzalez is her name. She's been taken into custody in connection with the death of Ava Renee Moore. We are thankful for the help of fellow law enforcement officers from the Texas Attorney General's Office, Texas Department of Public Safety, and the Dallas Police Department and Homeland Security investigators. Officials did not say where Gonzalez was taken into custody. More information is expected to be released Tuesday afternoon. It is unclear if Gonzalez has obtained an attorney to speak on her behalf. Investigators said two women on a personal watercraft hit Moore as she was kayaking. When first responders arrived, the two women were no longer there. Video shared with NBC5 showed several people carrying Moore out of the water and trying to provide first aid. Despite the life-saving efforts of witnesses and first responders, Moore died from severe traumatic injuries. Witnesses recorded video and took photos of the man and woman, and Grapevine Police shared those photos with the public on Monday, hoping to learn her identity and location. Witnesses told police the woman who was operating the jet ski left with a man who then hit vehicles while leaving the area. Officials have not said whether the man who left the lake with Gonzalez was still at large. All right. So here, we'll get you a look at these people. or this girl, this young lady who, all right, here we go. All right, so here we go. There's old sloppy tits, as I called her. All right, so here I'm going to tell you what happened here. She was drunk, okay? She was drunk. This is probably a rented watercraft. That's probably how they were able to find her. She was drunk. Here's why I think it's drunk and she was rented. Because where this occurred, there was a dude in a car waiting at the beach there. So like, if like, for instance, with the E Gallery, okay, so he's got a number of jet skis, but his jet skis go out with his boat and they stay at the marina in his little jet ski house that he has for him. If you don't have a marina spot, or if you don't have a boat, if you just got a jet ski, the jet ski stays in your driveway. And, you know, once a week you drive down to the lake and you have a jet ski trailer and you load it in. Or when you want a jet ski, you go down to the lake, you park at the little like public park area, the public beach, and then you can rent a jet ski. There are rented jet ski places there. So, I mean, I think this is probably a situation with a rented jet ski. Why? Because the jet ski was left behind. Because there was the car that she left in, you know, there was no description that it was towing a jet ski trailer. Okay. And because there was a car there, because that was convenient, because she just had to walk off to the beach and walk to the parking lot, get in a car and leave, that tells me she's just one of these day trippers. She's one of these people who come down to the beach. They rent a jet ski for $50 or whatever. They ride it around. They get shit-faced. They don't know what they're doing. They've never ridden a jet ski before. But hey, there's no class you got to take to be able to rent a jet ski at one of these lakes. It's America. It's freedom. So they go out there. They get shit-faced. They're the kinds of people who rent jet skis. So, they're already bad decision makers. Here's why I wouldn't rent a jet ski. This is why. Unless I'm like at a really fancy resort. Like if I'm at a fancy resort and like the jet skis are affiliated with the fancy resort, fine. But I ain't going to any lake and just going to rent fucking jet skis from Cooter Bob. And I'll tell you why. Because I've been on jet skis with a lot of friends on jet skis. I've been on a lot of jet skis. They always break. Always. Something always happens. Something bad happens almost every time. They're always in the shop. They're always getting. So I don't want to like rent Cooter Bob's jet ski and be in the middle of the lake and find myself stranded. No, thank you. That's how I'm going to die. Trying to swim 4 miles across a lake, dragging a dead in the water jet ski. That's how I'm going to die. No. So anyway, she's in custody. She looks like a young kid, man. She looks like a young kid who made a dumb decision. And, I'm sorry. She's a fucking idiot. She's an idiot kid. She made a bad decision and she ran from it because, I don't know. I guess that's what people do. They don't take responsibility. They just run. By the way, the other person on the jet ski, it was believed that person stayed behind because it wasn't somebody who actually knew the person who was driving the jet ski. They think that the girl that stayed behind and answered questions, they think they just may have met there at that day and she didn't really know who she was. She was just a passenger. All right. Well, it looks like we've gotten arrest, so we'll find out more. But man, oh man. It sounds like a terrible accident occurred and a person who seems to probably have been responsible for the accident, they did not take responsibility. So here we are. The big North Texas manhunt of the past 48 hours has been solved. We've got sloppy tits in custody. There you go. 10 commandments in Texas schools that got voted on. They're gonna put 10 commandments in Texas schools. I don't care. Don't be triggered. But why would people being triggered by it? Separation of church and state. Oh, fucking get over yourself. It's Texas. Let them do it. You know what? Teach your kid about the 10 commandments. Teach your kid about what it does or doesn't represent in your family's life. You do that. Stop worrying about your kid walking into the school. They're going to see the 10 Commandments and then suddenly what? They might become Christian. All right, whatever. Communicate with your kid. Stop worrying that everything that they're exposed to in school is somehow going to set them on a life path that is going to be so completely different from you and your family traditions that you must destroy the school system. Stop it. Get involved in your kid's life. If your kid walks into a school and there's do you know how many non-Catholic kids go to Catholic school where I'm from? Where I'm from, Catholic schools are just flat out better schools. You get a better education. You go on, you do better things, you get into better colleges. They're better schools, Catholic schools. Jews go to Catholic schools in Chicago. Protestants, Methodists, whatever, non-Catholics. Do you know how many non-Catholics go to Notre Dame? You know how many non-Catholics go to Georgetown? You don't have to just be completely brainwashed by whatever the stated faith of the institution that's educating you is. All right, so you go to public schools in Texas. Public schools in Texas are Christian themed. But as long as they're not like teaching you, well, I don't know. See, is that the next step? Is the next step where you're actually being taught Bible verses and shit? Because that's a little, I think the 10 Commandments are a good rule of thumb. What's wrong with the 10 Commandments? Separation of church and state. Yeah, okay. Well, it's the principle. Okay, let's stop having these huge fights based on principle. Let's just accept that nobody has principles anymore. Okay, so we don't need to have these big fights about principles. Just let them put the 10 Commandments in Texas schools. Your kid will survive. We don't have to have this stupid fucking fight. Ugh. All right. What else do we have? Diddy trial day 10. Diddy trial day 10. Popping off, as the kids say. Capricorn Clark took the stand today. Capricorn Clark is Diddy's former assistant. This is now the third former personal assistant to Diddy, who we have seen testify. The first two were brought up by the prosecution as witnesses for the state. And they laid out some pretty wild working conditions while being Diddy's personal assistant. But then both the first two, they got undone by the defense. The defense would come in and cross and sort of undid a lot of what we thought were damning testimony when the prosecution was asking the questions. So I don't know what that was. It was like a wash, the first two. Capricorn Clark, after a 4-day break, started today's day 10 of the Diddy trial. Now, Capricorn Clark did some things today during direct examination by the prosecution that the other two personal assistants weren't able to do. And it was maybe because they went too early. But Capricorn Clark was able to both confirm and shed new details on a number of really crazy stories that were told by other people on the stand of last week. What Capricorn Clark did today was she took the stand and finally, for the first time, somebody was testifying about shit that Diddy did that he's actually being charged with. And that is kidnapping and what was the other charge? Excuse me. I don't know. Look, I'm going to have this full breakdown tonight on Diddy or Didn't He here on the Radio Misfits podcast network. It's a big day. Anyway, whatever it was. She said some things that for the first time, I didn't think were just humiliations, right? That has been my complaint the first 2 weeks of the Diddy trial. That everything the prosecution is offering in open court doesn't so much support any of the charges that they're trying to get convictions on, but they do humiliate the man to no end. They are embarrassing. But again, it's like, what does this have to... So I've been waiting for 2 weeks for them to sort of tie this all together. And now here today, we have Capricorn Clark, and she's doing just that. She is tying together a lot of the humiliations that we heard about, and she's now giving them a little bit of a connection to what the charges are. because she is saying that she was kidnapped. She is saying that they held a gun to her head. Capricorn Clark is up there with some real serious direct charges. So we'll break all that down tonight on did he or didn't he? Capricorn Clark. Can't wait to hear the cross. Can't wait to see how Diddy's superstar defense team is going to dismantle Capricorn Clark, because she's telling some good stuff. All right. What else do we have? Another big music mogul, if you will. This was sad. Wanted to talk about this over the weekend. Or over the weekend. I didn't do a show on Friday. This broke on Friday. Billy Joel's got brain scramblies. Something's wrong with Billy Joel's brain. I like Billy Joel. Billy Joel is awesome. I have always liked Billy Joel. Billy Joel, I would say between 1990 and 2015. Between 1990 and let's say between 1995 and 2015. Between 1995 and 2015, I would say that Billy Joel was basically like Barry Manilow. Not cool. Not cool. There was nothing cool about Billy Joel. Between 1995 and 2015, it was like, oh, that guy's so corny. Oh, that guy with his doo-wop album. Go do a doo-wop album. 1995, 2015. But guess what? Billy Joel's back. Billy Joel's cool again. Billy Joel and well, I'll put it to you this way. During that period of time, 1995 to 2015, I probably saw Billy Joel 5 times in concert. That's right. I never got off the Billy Joel train. Never. Love Billy Joel. It's my spam alert on my phone. Spam. All right. Billy Joel's got the brain scramblies, which means he's apparently not going to be touring anymore or performing anymore. And he performed a lot, man. I saw Billy Joel with Elton John twice. I saw Billy Joel alone like 5 or 6 times. Come on, man. You can't be Gen X and not love Billy Joel. Now, I know the millennials came in right around 95, 96, and all of a sudden they're like, that guy sucks. Well, whatever. Gen Z has reclaimed him. My son loves Billy Joel. My son knows every word to We Didn't Start the Fire. That's right. Hemingway, Eichmann, Stranger in a Strange Land, Dylan, Berlin, Bay of Pigs Invasion, Lawrence of Arabia, British Beatlemania. Hey, he can do it. He can do it. Old Miss John Glenn, Liston Beats Patterson. All right, so let's go through some Billy Joel. Let's see what's good. Let's the greatness of Billy Joel. He's going to die someday, and we're going to be like, man, that dude is like the American Elton John. He really is. He is just such an amazing songwriter. Let's check this out. We'll just randomly go to like, all right. So this one, all right, here. All right. Is a beatdown, man. That song is an absolute beatdown. We're going to get it out of the way. It's probably his most famous song, but I will concede that song is a beatdown. All right, how about this one? We're just going to run through some shit, man. This guy's got hit song after hit song.
I'll be driving through the city tonight.
Okay. All right. What's this one? New York State of Mind. Oh, The Stranger, first album. Oh. If you know, you know. This album, I don't know if this album is the reason that I have depression, or if I love this album because I have depression. Billy Joel's The Stranger, which was his breakthrough album from like 1978. Ugh. Unbelievable. All right, this is all the early stuff. This ain't even yacht rock. It could be yacht rock. He's just showing that he could totally do yacht rock. right. All right. What was it? Was that the theme? Is that the theme to Bosom Buddies? Woo, woo. Yeah. All right. I mean, we're just going to run through like 40 hits right now.
What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you?
Billy freaking Joel. What's this? Vietnam stuff. How about this? Come on, you forget about pressure. This keyboard riff. Come on, this was a great one. A little something for the working man. Jeez. Jeez. Oh my God. All right, we're done. That's it. Billy Joel's got the brain scramblies. Not sure what that means for him. Not sure. He's all right, let's find out. I just know that like he's got a brain problem, and that's a serious thing. And Billy Joel's getting older, so I've probably seen Billy Joel for the last time. I'm glad I've seen him a bunch of times. He's an entertainer. He's fun. Hey, and you know what else? You know, my son, my 15-year-old son likes him, but I thought that might just be because of me, because from time to time he'll hear a Billy Joel song. It's not. It's because of the boys. It's because of Huey, Jack Quaid on the boys. He is apparently a diehard Billy Joel fan, and because of this, like an entire generation of teenage fans of the boys are now like totally giving respect to Billy Joel because of Huey, which is cool. All right, hold on. They're gonna make me sign it. They're gonna make me sign in to read this stupid article from U.S. News. U.S. News, you're not even a real news platform anymore. Someone just selling your name. Let's see here. Music legend Billy Joel has canceled tour dates through July of 2026 after being diagnosed with a brain condition called normal pressure hydrocephalus. The 76-year-old singer announced Friday that his condition had worsened with recent performances affecting his hearing, vision, and balance. All right. Whatever, Billy. We wish you the best there, Billy Joel. You know, we do. I do wish him the best because I'm at a point now where I would like to, you know, me and my son could go see Billy Joel. There are certain concerts now that, you know, I would like to go see with my son where we would both enjoy it. Billy Joel would be one of them. All right, what else? Here we got some more celebrity news. And look, I'm not gonna play this game. Okay, this happened over the weekend, or maybe it happened Thursday into Friday. Not exactly sure, but this entire city. The city of Dallas. So embarrassing. What? Why did this entire city stop and everything it was doing and like go Tom Cruise gaga? Why did this city go Tom Cruise gaga? Tom Cruise was in town. Everybody on social. Tom Cruise was at North Park. Tom Cruise was. My God, stop it, Dallas. Dallas, you're a legit fucking global city. Okay, Tom Cruise can come into town anytime he wants, and it's not a big fucking deal. It's so embarrassing. Like what are we, Tulsa? All of a sudden we're Tulsa. We're freaking out because Tom fucking Cruise is in town. You've all been played, man. Tom Cruise has probably been to town 15 times, and it never made. You know why? Because it wasn't a part of a publicity campaign. Y'all played into it, and you made us all look like a bunch of rubes. Like, hell, I was going to go on vacation, but I heard Tom Cruise is coming to town. So I'm going to go hang out in the parking lot at Dillard's there at North Park. Fuck. You're fucking Texans. You're from Dallas, man. You're not from 40 miles outside Little Rock, where this is some huge deal. Knock it off. I hate Tom Cruise. I hate that, I hate that, Ben Ben Rogers. I like Ben Rogers. And look, it was cool. He got to introduce him, at some Q&A thing there. And it was cool. It was good. And I would have done the same thing, and I can't really, but it's just like this whole idea that Tom Cruise is here and we've all got to be on our bed. Stop it. Tom fucking Cruise. Grow up, Dallas. We're big players in the world, okay? We are a global city, for fuck's sake. We don't need to lose our shit because Tom Cruise is here. We killed a fucking president. We've done things, all right? This city has done things. We don't need to be freaked out about Tom Cruise showing up. All right, now we're going to do something fun, okay? Now I want to... We're going to get into the big story of the weekend. This is my favorite story of the weekend. Here's why. Because it means absolutely nothing. And it's a story about people who are globally significant individuals, people who are involved in all kinds of high-end important stuff. And yet, they're in the epicenter of a story here because of something that every single one of us can relate to. Every single one of us can have an opinion on what this is, unlike all the other things that they're involved in. Geopolitics and all that. We don't fucking know our head from a hole in the ground. But we do know when a husband and wife are fighting. And we can all have an opinion about the Macrons. Well, we've all had opinions about the Macrons now for quite some time since we understand, since we were explained the odd coupling of the president of France and his significantly older woman wife, who was his teacher in school. Yeah, this is how the French do the Mary Kay Letourneau thing. They just, instead of Billy Falal or Mary Kay going to prison, no, they just make Billy Falal the president of the country. Which, quite frankly, here in America, I don't think we're that far away from. I think this might be something. So Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, his wife was his teacher when he was in like high school. And he was fucking hooking up with his teacher in high school. And then they got married and everybody's like, well, is that just how we do it in France? I'm like, yeah, it's fucking weird. And then there's all kinds of stories about how she shaped him and she controlled him. She was kind of like, here in America, if you know the story of Todd Marinovich was a football player whose dad basically raised him from the time that he was a baby into being like football beef, football veal. That's kind of what they say like Macron's wife did for him. Like she put him in all the right positions in order for him to have this career. Anyway, that's the first lady and the president of France. So over the weekend, I guess they arrived there in Vietnam because France is still very tethered to Vietnam and doing some trade thing. I just want to show you this. So this is how France's president, Emmanuel Macron, arrived. Here, can we get this? No, that's it. This is how he arrived in Vietnam. Now we're going to see. I love this particular video. I want to particularly show this video because it's live coverage. I don't know if this is BBC coverage or Sky News coverage. I'm not sure who this is, but this is live coverage of the president of France arriving in Vietnam. Was it Vietnam? Yeah, Vietnam. And just the coverage. I want you to hear the coverage and the reaction from the news people when what happens. So here we go. Let's watch this. Once again, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, showing up in Vietnam. This is live coverage from something. I don't know. Okay, so the door is opening. Nice looking plane. Door is opening. Here you see Macron. See him? This is like a Secret Service guy opening the door, and then you got Macron back here, president of France. All right.
So this is the French plane landing in...
Okay, did you blink? Because they're going to show it to you again. Watch the president of France. He's right behind this dude opening the door. Watch the president of France.
Vietnam. Look, have I missed that there?
Yeah, I can't quite see.
Boom. Okay, there he is. That's the president of France getting punched in the face or slapped in the face by someone with a red arm. I don't know who that could be, but where's the Secret Service, huh?
He's in the background. Oh. Oh.
Well, there was I mean, you can see if you're listening on the radio, basically, it's sort of, you know.
Now, let's watch that again. I like the reaction. Let's listen to the reaction. We'll just let this play, and then we'll watch some close-ups.
So this is the French plane landing in Vietnam. Look, I missed that there. Let's have a
Yeah, I
look at
can't
that.
quite see.
There he is in the background. Oh. Oh.
Well, there was I mean, you can see if you're listening on the radio, basically, it's sort of, you know, Macron preparing to descend the jet steps, and as he's standing at the doorway, you see a hand reach out and appear to slap him in the face. Is it Brigitte's hand?
Yep.
Must have been.
Well, she was standing there, and then Brigitte walks out, and to be fair, they're both smiling and waving as politicians do.
Matthew, that's deeply embarrassing for Macron.
Deeply.
No?
Yeah, I'd be furious if that was me. I'd think there's a time and a place, you know, arguing, bickering, if they want to do that aboard the plane. I think it's interesting that she's done it as the door's opening, like, so people can see.
What is she thinking?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the point. Man, she's not a stupid woman. She would have been very aware that that door was opening. The
I'll show you
cameras
my
would be
favorite
pointed
part.
on them.
There, wait,
What
that's
do you
my
think's
favorite
going
part.
on here?
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that, look, again, Macron in France.
All right. I like how the minute he gets punched in the face, he then turns, sees everybody on the tarmac waiting for him, and then he does like this weird wave, like, oh, everything's fine.
I think Madame Brigitte is also finally had a...
Right there. That's the deer in the headlights right there. He's like, oh, I should probably make it seem like everything's fine.
enough
Anyways,
of Macron
he storms off.
being president for so long. He's basically France's Trudeau. I mean, this is obviously very embarrassing for the French president.
What on earth is she thinking? Actually, I'm just digesting this in real time now. This is one of the most bizarre clips I think I've ever seen.
Okay, there you have it. All right, like I said, we might not know who these people are, but we know what's happening here. Any of us who've been in a bad relationship, and I imagine that most of us have found ourselves a time or two in a bad relationship, especially as we get to these advanced ages, we know exactly what's happening there. She's, hold on. She's pissed at him. It's not a big fight. That's not a big fight. That they probably do that shit all the time. Here's what's embarrassing about it. They probably present themselves like a couple of big old phonies. Like, we're perfect, like everybody in the political world does, right? And then you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes that they're just like us. Hey, they fight too. They're not a perfect couple. Here's what I don't like. Here's the problem. So because the Macrons and because France, you know, they're all part of this like world of the past 25 years where everything's politically correct and nobody tells the truth and everything's a fucking lie about everything. Because for some reason, just telling the truth is something you will never do. So of course, you know, they said that they were just joking, that they were joking around, that it was just, they were just having fun. And sure, I can see if you just see it from those seconds. But if you were on the plane, oh, you'd know that they were just joking. So that was the excuse. Nobody bought that excuse. Everybody's like, fuck you. That's not true. It's not joking around. Look at your face. You're really upset. You're angry. So we know it's not that. So what should they have done? He should have come out and he said, you know how long we've been married? I love her. But I'll tell you what, sometimes she gets a little bit angry at me, just as I'm sure that your wife gets angry at you. And she should not have put her hands on me. Because we do not, blah, blah. He should have done that. He should have turned it into a whole thing like that. But just the lying, like we're stupid. Like they've got this team of spin doctors who are going to concoct the most brilliant lie to keep us stupid rubes in the dark about what's really happening here. We know what's going on. You know, if anything, you seem now more human than you did before because, you know, she's a bitch. We all thought she was a bitch. And now look, we've got proof of it. She's putting her hands on you. But that's not how they handled it. They handled it by lying. They handled it pretending. They handled it by pretending that what we all fucking saw, we didn't see. Ugh. NO says, let's stop the hypocrisy and stay out of their lives. Well, one, we will never stop the hypocrisy. We love hypocrisy too much. We thrive on hypocrisy. And stay out of their lives. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, you know, honestly, I was pretty much staying out of their lives until this happened. So there you go. All right, but I'm with you. Other than that. Oh. All right. What else do we have here? What else can we talk about? Stars game tonight, you guys. Stars game. We're going to be doing trivia out there. 4060 Beltline Road, giving away fabulous prizes and cash coupons. Cash coupons. I don't know. I made that word up. Cash coupons. Gift cards. We've got gift cards for the back nine, and we're giving away stuff from Body. How do I say it? I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to say what it is that we're giving away. It's sacred oils, but it's like we're giving away like bags of gummies and stuff. You'll like it. Trust me. Trust me. It's good stuff. That's tonight, 7:30, 4060 Beltline Road, the back nine. Trash trivia with me every Tuesday night. And we're going to watch the Stars game, so it'll be fun. All right, what else do we have here? Got a list of the most dangerous dog breeds, but this just, to me, appears to be anti-pit bull propaganda. You know me. I hate the anti-pit bull propaganda. Let's see what they say the most dangerous dog breeds are, shall we? Let's go. Yep, of course, right there. You got to put a picture of a beautiful pit bull. Hold on. Look at this. The most dangerous dog breeds. Here, look at this picture of these beautiful animals. Look at those things. Yeah. They can be. They absolutely can be weapons of war, but you know what else they can be? Big, giant cuddle hounds. So there's two of like if I had to make a list of a power ranking of all the dogs I've known in my life, the top 10, two of them are pit bulls. One pit bull is possibly number one. So, I don't know. I just love them. When they're sweet, they're sweet. I've never had a bad experience with a pit bull. I haven't. I've never seen a pit bull be a pit bull. I've seen videos, you know, from like crack houses with fucking bangers doing shit. But that's not my real life. That's not like, you know, I've known pit bulls as family dogs that, you know, come barking when you walk in, but then they're all about humping your leg and sitting in your lap. All right, let's see. Study finds. Beautiful pit bulls. What's it say? Pit bulls are statistical outliers. They account for 26.74% of all dog bite incidents and 61% of fatalities. That's far more than any other breed, despite being a small fraction of the dog population. Small fraction. Have you guys been to a pound in the last 30 years? Every single dog in an American dog pound has at least some pit bull in it. They all look like pit bulls. Pit bulls out there on the street just raping dogs left and right, and all their offspring are being taxpayer dollar funded into pounds. Get your dogs from the pounds. You get good dogs from the pound because they're all pit bulls. That's why they're good. All right, what do we see here? Let's go to the list. What is the list? Shepherds and boxers round out the top three. So pit bulls are number one. Shepherds, excluding German shepherds. German shepherds are number 5. But like Australian shepherds and other kinds of shepherd breeds, they're the number 2 most dangerous dog breed out there. And boxers are number 3. Let me tell you something about boxers. I've had occasion to know a couple of boxers in my life. And I don't mean pugilists. I mean the dog breed boxers. They suck. They're beautiful animals. They're fucking mean. Both boxers that I've known have been mean. And not like, security dog mean. Just mean like, oh, she'll bite you. Got to put her in the back room. They're just asshole dogs. And I say this because I am currently in possession of an asshole dog that has to be put in a room when people come over. Ugh. I don't like boxers. They look cool, though. They look. All right, what else do we got? Here's the list. Show me the full list. All right, are you ready? Let's go down the list. Number 10, most dangerous dog, Labrador Retriever. What? What are you doing? what kind of person gets a lab retriever to be mad? Lab retrievers are number 9. Number 9, Mastiff. A Mastiff. Again, I don't know about that. I've not known many Mastiffs, but here's a story about a Mastiff. His name was Goliath. Yeah, all Mastiffs have names like that. Butkus, Goliath, Zeus. They all have names like that. But Goliath was the Mastiff that I knew. When I was delivering pizzas back in the early 90s when I was in college, there was a house. It was a horse ranch out there, 143rd and Wilcook Road. It's an old horse ranch out there. And I would deliver pizzas to this horse ranch all the time. And every time I would pull up in the driveway, I would get out with this big box of pizza and I'd start walking up this dirt horse ranch driveway. It was a horse ranch. It was out there in unincorporated Homer Township. I would be visited by Goliath. Goliath was like a 200-pound Mastiff, the largest dog I'd ever seen in my life, who just roamed the property freely. Just, oh God, the first time I ran into Goliath scared the shit out of me, man. And then after delivering there for a couple of years and knowing Goliath from every Friday, he was awesome. He was happy. He just walked around. He was all giant. He looked like a lion. He was like the size of a lion. I'm like, that is a lion walking up the driveway. What am I supposed to do? All right, there you go. Mastiffs are number 9 in the most dangerous dog list. Number 8 is Doberman Pinschers. I love all dogs, but I can do without Doberman Pinschers. There, I said it. I can do without Pinschers. They look like they should be much smaller, but they're not. They look like they have the attitudes of small dogs that suck. Small dogs that suck. Yeah, Doberman Pinschers have the attitude of a small dog that sucks, who isn't a small dog, who is in the body of a super athlete. Doberman Pinschers are like super athlete dogs. Number 7 most dangerous dog. This is so stupid. Number 7, this is one of the rarest dogs on the planet. Cane Corso. Nobody has a Cane Corso. I say that. The guy at trivia last week, some dude showed up for trivia last week. He brought his dog. I thought it was a Cane Corso. It turned out to not be a Cane Corso. It was just the largest pit bull I'd ever seen. Cane Corso's number 7 on the list of most dangerous dogs. Number 6, Australian Cattle Dog. Australian Cattle Dog is the 6th most dangerous dog on the planet. So let's do the top 5. Number 5 is the German Shepherd, most dangerous dog. Number 4 is the Rottweiler, most dangerous dog. Number 3 is the Boxer, most dangerous dog. Number 2 is the Shepherd, which is like the Australian Shepherd, or all the Shepherd breeds that are not called German Shepherds. And number 1 most dangerous dog, we already told you, the Pit Bull. The Pitty. The completely misunderstood Pitty. What else do we got? Anything good here? Anything else we have to do? Let's be done. All right, that's going to do it, guys. I think we're done. I think we've gone through all the things that I want to talk about today. Like, follow, subscribe this show. I'm now going to stop this and I'm going to record today's edition of Diddy or Didn't He. You can find my daily updates on the Sean Diddy Combs trial every night at radiomisfits.com. Or if you want to watch the video, I suggest it's a podcast. But if you want to watch it as a video, you can go to the Radio Misfits channels on both YouTube or Facebook. Also, radio, I think diddyordidn'the.com. I think that goes directly to the video presentation. So there you go. Hope some of you come out tonight. I'd love to see you. Please, come one, come all. Let's watch some hockey tonight at the Back Nine, 4060 Beltline Road, and play trivia. That's right, trivia. I told you earlier, but I'll tell you again. The trivia categories for tonight's, we do 2 rounds of trivia, 4 categories per round. Today's categories are geography, who wrote it, cars, questions about cars, thinkers. Now, thinkers I try to include because, trivia is, who knows? Sometimes you know it, sometimes you don't. You worked somewhere for 2 weeks in the 90s, and that's how you know the answer to this question, right? It's trivial. It's trivial. Thinkers is a category I'm doing. Thinkers. These are things that aren't trivia. These are things that if you actually think them through, you might come up with the answer. Thinkers. Round 2 of tonight at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road in Addison. Round 2 will be sports. We're going to do some sports trivia. We're going to do nicknames. Nicknames, people, places, things. I'll give you the nickname. You tell me the people, place, or thing, or vice versa. Nicknames. Then the final 2 categories in round 2 tonight, Nepo babies. Nepo babies. They're the hottest thing going in Hollywood. You tell me who their parents are. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I got to word that one differently. But Nepo babies is another category. And then guitar heroes is our final category. Once again, tonight's categories at Trash Trivia. Geography, who wrote it, cars, thinkers, sports, nicknames, Nepo babies, and guitar heroes. Tonight at the back 9, 4060 Beltline Road. Right there in beautiful Addison, Texas. What else? What else? I'm trying to think if I got anything else. I got nothing else other than I love you guys, and I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this tomorrow because we do this every day. It's talk radio for normal people. We don't do politics. We don't do bullshit. We just talk about fun stuff that's happening in the world. We got a chat room that I dare say is a bit swinging. Hope some of you chatters come out to trivia tonight. That would be great. You'd make my day. Other than that, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Bye. It's awkward. It's awkward when I can't turn the camera off properly.